You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us. But it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Hi, Carrie.
Hello, Fran.
How are you doing today?
I'm okay. It's a rainy day when we're recording, so it's kind of... Is it raining where you are?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of blah. It's kind of blah, although not as bad as the weather they're getting in Florida. So, yeah, I guess we should not complain. But we are actually recording this in advance, like in advance, which is
like we always record them in advance a little.
Yeah, it's not like they're live.
I think it's not like before when we did a weekly, we would usually record it sometimes just 3 days in advance.
Yes. Now that we're on the bi-weekly schedule, it's much easier for us because it's every 2 weeks, but it's harder sometimes when we have travel schedules. So we've got some pretty busy travel schedules coming up shortly. And we were trying to cram this in before you take off.
Up and away.
Up and away. And I don't know, does the jinxies count? Because technically by the time this goes live, you'll be home.
Well, the jinxies technically, because I got to fly tomorrow. Hopefully we get okay weather. And I can leave. But yes. Yeah, I'm going to D23. Everybody knows that. We've talked about that.
We've talked about that. So Carrie's doing D23 this year. I am not, sadly.
Alone. Well, I was going to say alone.
Alone.
But I'm not alone.
No, we have lots of friends. We have lots of friends that are going, but she's going to be missing her BFF, who would be with her throughout this event. And sadly, I can't make it. But you will have a ton of fun anyway. And she has promised to send me lots of pictures and keep me posted while she's there.
Absolutely. It'll be fun to be. I'm going to be reporting back like we did before you went. Before I convinced you to go.
Before Carrie convinced me that I needed to do the D23.
Did you just go to one or two?
In California? I think I've been to 2 or...
That's what I thought you
Was
did.
it 2 or 3? 2. 2? Might have been 2. Maybe 3. It's been at least 2.
I don't think it's 3, but I think I wasn't sure if you had went once or if you went twice. That's all.
I think
the one year you just go for one day.
Yes, the first year, because remember they sold out and I could only get the ticket for the one day. So I flew down and met you and Jamie and yeah. That was the year we sat on the floor. We did like in the basement on the concrete, the whole 9 yards.
That last year too, didn't
we?
We
did that last time. Yeah. We did
that's
that too.
And then last time you went the full expo.
I went the full enchilada. Full enchilada. Yeah. It was
this year they're saying that the parks news is going to be huge. Everybody is guessing that it's going to be earth-shattering, earth-shaking, changing the world.
Changing the world.
As we know it.
Well, I was looking on Disney World News today, and they have like a whole bunch of their predictions. I think one of them that they are predicting that I'm extremely excited about, which is not life-changing, but they're predicting that the drone show, there will be a version of the drone show that will become permanent. Which would be lovely because I love that drone show at Disney Springs. I think it's fantastic. So I would love if they could keep that.
There'll probably be drones at parks, I would think, right? It's like instead of fireworks one day.
Well, the technology's huge. Maybe they couple them together because I have to think that the drones would be cheaper than fireworks.
I have no
because
idea.
You can reuse them. Like you use the same drone every night, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. How long does the drone last?
I don't know. So we're recording this one and then it goes live the day after you come home. And then I'm taking off for a week. So we've got to get a recording in within like 2 days because you come home and I leave like 3 days later. So we're going to do the recap then. And then I think I come home and then you go to Walt Disney
Probably
World
not
shortly
too far
after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're it's a little busy. It's a little busy, which is good. We're excited. We're happy about it. Yeah. And then I think
No time to record.
I'm technically home, I think, for September and October, which the Unmagical job, we've got big project stuff going on those months, but
Ooey.
I could sneak in a weekend maybe. But then I'm supposed to go in November. So yeah, lots going on. So what do you think the big rumors and predictions, like what do you think is the big earth-shattering D23 news?
I think that they might finally just confirm what they're going to do in the parks long term, like the behind the Thunder Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain,
Right.
And yeah, I think they'll just confirm things are truly happening. I think, but
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I pay attention to it a little bit, but honestly, I don't even have a lot of time. Like I'm leaving tomorrow, and I've been trying to snip things and try to read things, like even just trying to understand how things changed for this year and the processes for things, and reading about the schedule is enough. Like it takes so much time to wrap your head around that and try to remember like the little things that you want to do. Like and my brain doesn't have any room to do anything beyond that at this point. So hopefully it is awesome. And the room, we're just going to take down the Honda Center. It's just going to be crazy. So, and I never go to the parks panel one. I always, because before we had to sit in the basement and wait all night long. And then the other two were very, very popular, like the movies and the animation ones. So that was our priority. And a lot of times the parks panel disappointed. Like there's been a couple that were awesome, but they generally did disappoint. So if I had to pick one, then that's like I wasn't picking that one. So this year, because of the dedicated seating, if we want to go to all three of them, we can. So the parks, they put the movie one together, and then the what's it called, the Legends. I've never been to the Legends either, so yeah, we could do them all, but I would always skip the parks one. So if this is a year to see it, I hope.
Well, yeah, you may as well, because you'll have your own seat and you don't have to do the 6 hours sleeping in the basement in order to get in. So why not do it? Like this is the year to do it if you're going to do it.
The one thing that they did change, well, I can't really remember last time, but this year, like that part's awesome. But then with the shops, like everything's a virtual queue, and I can't remember if they were all a virtual queue last time, but that's part that I'm not sure that I really understand. Like but we still got to go in
time. It was like day one, they were virtual queues when all the Prime merch was out. And then I think by day two, it was just standard standby line.
Like we could get into them.
Like, we could get in, but everything had sold out by then. Like all the, not everything, but the pins, like the pins that you wanted to see were already gone by it was impossible to get the virtual queue. And then when we finally waited in line and got in, because remember, we even started walking up to some of the booths and going, do you have any pins left? And then they said no, so we didn't even get in line.
Yeah.
Like, we just waited until the last day. Yeah.
Like the virtual queue opens up at 4 a.m. So we'll probably need a little bit of strategy. They limit how many people you can bring in, whether it's just one or two. I have a feeling it's just one. So I guess we'll all just kind of divide and conquer and see if anybody gets anything. Our RSP thing that we put in for our sessions, like we all just got one. Like one for the whole 3 days, which was kind of interesting because last year at least we got one for every day and we only got one for the whole entire 3 days. So standby line for everything else. But that part doesn't worry me too much, like because I know if there's something I really want to see, you just wait in line, you go into the standby line. But yeah, the shopping, it'll be interesting to see if the shopping delivers, like we're able to get in and buy stuff, or if it's a disappointment. Like that's my worry. I know that will be now. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, because there's lots of Imagineering stuff and whatever. You'll see. If you get no pictures, it'll just be sad emojis. It'll be sad emojis day after day after day after day.
I got
after
nothing.
Day after day.
I got nothing.
So
but you'll
I'm
be
sure
in your
we'll be
happy
able to
place.
get in.
you're going to be next to Disneyland. Like, no matter what, you're obviously going to the
Yeah,
parks.
I'll just be
So,
like, see ya.
like, you
Maybe I'll
don't
leave.
care. You'll be like,
Get
see
lost,
ya.
D23. I'm out of here. Well, and I wonder too, like I know like the ability, like I haven't been able to get close to pins at the event for years. So like
Yeah.
if that's just kind of a normal thing. It's just I almost don't even have any expectation that I'll be able to buy any pins. But and there are some nice pins that I wouldn't mind getting, but it's even I'm worried that it's gonna be difficult to get into them just to do the other shopping that we like to do. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Because that's
Yeah.
the thing, not everybody's waiting in a basement all night long. Not like this, the session would start at 10 or 11 or 1, and people would stay in the basement all night long and stay in the
Right.
basement till
So
it
they
starts at
weren't on the
11 or
floor.
12.
Yeah.
So, like, there weren't people on the floor. There weren't people waiting in lines for the shops or whatever, because, like, we were all waiting for the big sessions. So now with those wait times non-existent, like, yeah, what's it going to be like? Like, will there be even more demand for the stores? And maybe that's why the virtual queues are like, for most of the stores, they're all day, 3 days in a row. So
Right.
maybe that's their answer to kind of keeping that from being like, because before they had virtual queues, people would wait for the stores, like, they'd spend the whole weekend waiting in lines to shop. So I'm sure the demand for shopping is going to be greater now that people are going to be available. So it'll be. So that's what we
I
like to
can't
do,
wait
spend
to
our
hear.
money. Spend
Can't
money on
wait to
more
hear.
merch. Anyways, so yes, next time,
Yeah.
hopefully, it'll
Next
either
time.
be fireworks or it'll be sad trombone.
I can't wait to hear. I absolutely like I'm excited about the parks news, but the parks news too, it takes I don't have a lot of patience, right? So they're going to announce the parks news and then is it going to be 5 years before they're going to refurb
Minimum.
like one of their predictions is Journey into Imagination is going to get, refurbed, which obviously that's been a contentious subject for years and years and years. I'd like to see them refurb it. I'd love to see them kind of introduce new technology and things like that because I think Figment is such a fantastic character. But I hate the thought of it being down while they refurb it, and it makes me nervous, like that they're going to mess it up.
And I wonder for the parks thing too, like when you watch the movie, when you watch them talk about the movies and the animation that's coming, like they show you, like you meet the actors, they announce the
Yeah,
actors, they show sketches, they show snips, they whatever wherever they are in the process of that, they show it to us. And that's what adds that value. Like that's what gets you even more excited because you're getting sneak peeks. Like for the park stuff, like if they're announcing for all the parks all around the world, like
yes,
I haven't been in years. Like I don't know if they're just like, and this is what we're doing, and everyone screams, and then they're like, and next, and this is what we're
and
doing, and
next,
then everybody screams. Like so, so yeah. Like I don't know to what detail they would give. Like it can't be the way that I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they announce it, and if they do say stuff like, yeah, like they've told us that things might be this, it might be that, but like tell us the park, tell us the attractions, tell us the location, tell us all the whatever. I don't know. It'll
right?
be it'll be interesting to
Yeah,
see what they do tell us. But there
yeah,
should be lots. There should be some meaty stuff. Like
yeah. But I just
there
hope
should.
it's meaty stuff, and some of it can be executed rather quickly.
Well, we know
Like
that's not possible for theme parks, really.
I
Like,
know they
although
just
they
take
have like, but
forever.
if they redo something like with Country Bear, like they did that quickly. Tiana's was
Yeah, that
fairly
one
quick.
they.
So
Yeah,
maybe if they reimagine a few things, then that won't take as long. Like if they could redo Figment in a little while, like in a shorter term,
I
I
would
would
hope
think.
so.
So
I mean, really, who are we kidding? I just want to see Zootopia brought to Walt Disney World. Like,
that'll
I
be
want it
for
in
quite a
Walt
few
Disney,
years.
and that would be very exciting. That would be very exciting.
What if they bring it to Disneyland instead?
Then I'm going to be taking longer plane rides, I guess. That would be awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited. What else is going on in the news today? There's like, I don't know about you, Carrie, but I'm drowning in merch stuff.
Just oh yeah.
And I'm struggling to focus on what merch I want. Like, I almost want to just go and see it in the stores and just pick it, like, because it's overwhelming to me. But I mean, I won't see these ones because they're only for D23, but they have like a Mr. Toad's Loungefly in ears. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. That
That's
Loungefly
pretty
backpack is
spectacular.
is awesome. Like it's got headlights that light up.
I know. I
And
don't
I
like the
think that
Loungefly bags though. That's my problem.
yeah, I have three. I don't like them either.
I don't like them, but I have three.
I have three one, two, I
Well,
think
they're
I got
Kermits, right?
three Kermit ones.
Right. I
Yeah.
don't find they open wide enough, and I feel they're very stiff. Like they don't soften.
Yeah, probably not. I never wear mine. I wore my one a little bit, but I don't wear them. I just have them on display because that's what you do with $70 backpacks. You don't use them.
Of course. Why would you use them?
Why would you use the backpack when mine, the one I have is the Electric Mayhem. I got the Electric Mayhem one, that one. I really do
Right.
like that one. And then two Kermits. That's what I have. I'm trying to look around my room to find out which
Isn't it
ones I have.
funny? We spend money on
Um,
such, like, I was actually talking, there were a couple guys at work last week going on and on about their shoes. One of them had on like these Air Jordan blah blah blahs, whatever. And they were talking about how much money they spent on these shoes. They're like 250 bucks or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, for a pair of shoes. And then I realized like I had a Dooney sitting on my desk that, yeah,
mhm.
US dollars
Yeah,
came. Yeah, same.
pretty
So
much.
I get it. So then I was like, I'm not going to
Yeah.
say anything.
No, and but then you think like Doonies. You think, well, you buy expensive Doonies or they buy expensive shoes. People collect shoes like really, like that's a
Oh,
big
yeah.
thing. People collect shoes like that. But when we need to buy a sippy cup here, a popcorn bucket there,
It
it's just
adds up.
little. It's like a quarter of a shoe,
Yeah, it
or
adds up
the
though.
right
Like,
the side panel of a Dooney.
well, the lounge flies, like it is nice, but yeah, that one, but the sippy cups, like,
Well, there's two things at Disneyland that come out. So the 8th of August is what, no, yeah, 8th. That's what I'm trying to look at which days which, will be or was, because this is going to be in the
this is
future.
past tense.
Like that's D23 day, right? Like, so they're gonna have
Yes.
D23 day at Disney, and I think it's at 8th, and then they have things releasing. So they have a neat little tiki mug that's like a Jungle Cruise tiki mug
Yes.
that I got
That's
my eyes
kind of
on.
awesome.
Yeah, and then they do have sippy cups. We sent you the picture
I
of
know.
it's a sippy cup.
It's a Hatbox Ghost.
The Hatbox Ghost sippy cup. I think it lights up or something. I don't remember.
Like,
Like they're saying, oh, it's better than last year's, and I'm like, I don't remember that last year. Like
I
I
don't,
was
I
there in
know I saw
September. I
that.
don't remember that last year. I was there in
Like,
prime Halloween time. I don't remember it.
like
So
Carrie, only Disney, honest to goodness, could release an adult sippy cup for a
it's
crazy
called a
amount of
sipper.
money.
It's called
A
a sipper. We
sipper,
shouldn't
but
call
it's
it
a sippy cup.
sippy cup.
It's a sippy cup. And you've got adults lining up like it's the next coming of the Cabbage Patch dolls from the 80s, and we all have to have one. It's insane.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
and and you worry because you think I'm like I gotta get it, and you pay like $45 for this sippy cup or whatever it's gonna be, and then 3 months later you see it at the outlet, or you take your chance and think it's coming to the outlet, and it never arrives because they didn't
It
make
never
enough and
does.
it's sold out. So it's such a gamble. It's such a gamble. It's kind of
Well,
like, remember the oh, what were they called? I'm pointing to them so that Carrie can see. The Dapper Dans. Remember the
oh
Dapper
yeah, yeah.
Dan what are they called?
Funko Pops.
Funko Pops, that's it. Remember they were like so big, everybody wanted them. And then you could get them
And then
everywhere.
they had them on skids at the character outlet or the staff
Yeah.
outlet thingy.
Yeah.
Like I want that sipper. I want that sipper.
It's
I
nice.
definitely do.
It's nice.
So I'll probably bring home two. Um, but like I recently, like some of my Haunted Mansion stuff I've gotten rid of. Like I've sold some of my Haunted
I
Mansion stuff.
know.
So it's sort of like I was saying to myself, but like Carrie, you just sold something like
You
some
just
of the
got
stuff
rid of
you've
some
acquired
stuff.
because like I've been redoing my office here and I don't have enough room, so then I've kind of taken a look at stuff and I'm like, like I collect Muppets? Do I need this? Um, Even I had a popcorn bucket, like the Skyliner popcorn bucket that's in my for sale pile. Like
Is it? Oh, I love mine.
I didn't sell it yet, but it's in a
It's in the
bucket for
pile.
selling. It's in the pile, but like this is the part where like I
I
still want that
struggle.
zipper.
I
So
know.
there's even if I get joy from it for a year or 6 months or 3 months and
Yeah,
I decide to sell it next year, like that's the beauty
that's okay.
of fandom and collecting things sometimes that you just get it because you want it and you need it. And
Right.
even I've talked to myself a few times about don't forget, like you've gotten rid of a lot of your haunted mansion stuff. It's still like my head's like, but that's okay, I still can buy it. If I can get it, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy two
Yes.
if I can buy it. And I think I can mobile order them. I think they do that there now so that it's not so
What
chaotic.
size are you taking the big case?
Yeah.
Are you,
Well,
oh,
I'm flying
you
Porter
are?
Reserve because that's my and now it's like I've changed. I'm deluxe resorts. I'm deluxe signature dining. I'm also now Porter
Ah,
Reserve and cheap. I can't afford Air Canada first class, but
no, I know.
I'm cheapo airlines first class. So that's my new standard. So Porter Reserve, I have two bags. So a worst case scenario, my big jumbo case if I need more
Nice.
room, there's going to be a duffel bag being checked for bringing stuff home. Which another thing too, we always think about all the stuff we're going to bring home from these trips, especially something like Destination D or D23. We usually don't ever always buy what we as much as we say we're going to
Yeah.
buy. Like we
Well,
get really
because it
excited,
sells
like
out too. Yeah.
it would be awesome to actually like bring home as much stuff as we anticipate. But and that's the thing, I'm kind of excited now, but it most likely will be womp womp womp. Like I'm not going to get my hand on one of those zippers, let alone two,
I
because
know.
I'm sure
I
they're
know.
going to be a little crazy. So, but it's fun to hope and
It's fun
try.
to think about it and hope. That's now
Yeah.
you are not doing a Oogie Boogie while you're there.
No, I kind of let it go. I should have thought about it more, but I'm more like I feel I did Oogie Boogie like 2 or 3 times in a
Yeah.
row.
Yeah.
So I
And it's a
I think
lot.
I did
Like
it 3 times.
it's quite an added expense on a trip too. I would
Yeah,
looked at the Halloween party when I was there and because I haven't done a Halloween party in a few years, but I didn't
yeah.
buy it and I think it sold out. So
Yeah, they're both pretty expensive. I find like like for me, I want to go to Disneyland at Christmas. So like I kind of that's why I think emotionally I wasn't thinking about Oogie Boogie Bash because like really I'm there. Like I should have
emotionally,
bought a ticket, you dummy.
emotionally.
But emotionally I'm it's true. Emotionally I'm like I just got to get there for Christmas. Am I going to get there for this Christmas? Most likely not. Never say never. But yeah, I think that's why my brain wasn't in the
Wasn't
Halloween
in that
game.
mode. Yeah.
And this year,
Makes
last
sense.
year, we broke the Disney internet trying to get tickets, right? Like they went on sale. They had to like
Yeah.
stop sales for like 2 weeks while they fixed the back end,
Mm-hmm.
and then they sold them. This year, the dates all opened fine, and the tickets were like as usual. Like there's more dates this year, but as usual, like it took like a week and a bit for the tickets to sell out instead of them all selling out in one day, like they
Which
did
is kind of
last
nice.
year. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. It gives people a chance to actually go.
Yeah.
Look at all this Disneyland talk we're talking about. Oh, it's
I
just the
know. I
best
know. I'm
podcast
like,
ever.
okay, okay, Disneyland, we get it.
There's got to be some
Well,
Walt
and
Disney World stuff we could
we're
talk
gonna have a
about.
big recap obviously afterwards, but
We should talk about like the
we should
biggest news at Walt Disney World, probably
what's that? The Lightning
the
Lane
Lightning Lane,
multi-pass.
multi-pass,
Yeah. Yeah.
single
What did you
pass,
think of it? What
individual.
did you think?
Well, I think it's good. I think like people want to pre-plan and they listened, right?
Yeah.
So it's a good thing. Like that's what everybody wants to pay for it in advance. Like the two complaints were like they don't like getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they like and having to pay for it and do all that stuff on your trip. So now if you're staying on site 7 days before, you can pay for it on your credit card,
Yeah.
get it done and over with, and know what you're doing. So I think it's good that way. But like you see, it's funny, like in Facebook groups, like I'm not in very many of them, but like people complaining about it, like people like legit are saying like I miss the genie.
I
Have you
know.
seen
It's
that?
like I have, and it drives me crazy because for the longest time you were all complaining about Genie Plus. Like you originally complained about Fast Passes, then you complained about Genie Plus, and everything you complained about, they fixed in this one, and you're still complaining.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's incredibly frustrating.
So it's pretty much what we had before when we had last version of Fast Pass was Fast Pass Plus, right?
Right.
And we
Yes.
had the two tiers and we could pick them. Did we pick them 60 days in
I want to
advance
say it
or
was
30
60
days?
or
Because
30. I
back in
can't
the old
remember.
days, we would book dining 180, remember?
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's, yeah, I was just talking to someone who just booked, and she's like, am I too late? Because last time I booked, I had to make my dining reservation 6 months in
Can
advance.
you believe that?
Isn't
Like I
that
can't, it's
insanity?
way better now that we don't have to worry about that. So
Yeah.
it's pretty much the Fast Pass Plus system with the tiers and the whatever, the three fast passes a day, but we pay for it now. That's
Pretty
the like
much.
so people that have been there before in the past that have traveled before when they remember fast passes, like I find that's the easiest way to explain it. It's kind of the same,
It is.
except 7 days and then you pay for it per day that you want to do it. So if you want to pick your fast passes,
You know what?
you're
You
good
know
to
what's
go.
confusing to me is, so I get the two tiers. I understand that part. Um, I just wish that they could somehow all encompass everything in one so that there weren't virtual queues.
Hmm.
Because I feel like like I can explain the lightning lane multipass. I can explain individual lightning lanes, but then you
And
got to
then
throw in a virtual queue. Like for people
yeah,
who are going for the first time, they're they're like, what do you mean? I don't just stand in a line, like, so then you get their head wrapped around this concept of paying for sort of a shorter line, but then there's some that you don't pay for, but you got to be online, it's, yeah, I wish they could just encapsulate the virtual queue somehow.
I think so too, because that is you're right. Like I kind of thought about that and it's crossed my mind like that part now seems a little extra awkward. Like
Yeah. It's just like an extra awkward that we don't really need.
because they can buy an individual lightning lane and do a virtual queue for some, and then like is Tiana still as a virtual queue? Yes, it would
Yeah.
be because it's new,
Yeah.
right? So you can get Tiana's on as a lightning lane with your lightning lane
Yes.
multipass, or you can get in the virtual queues. So like it's sort of like saying here's this great package of how you can pre-plan, but here on the side here's some options that are gonna you still have to consider these
Yeah. But
as
then what do you
well.
do? Do you try for the free one, or do you pay for the other one?
Yeah, I
And
don't. Yeah,
and once you try for the free one, you might have missed the window if you were going to pay for it. Like,
yeah,
do you know, it's kind of that one. I really, my personal opinion, not that I'm complaining about the system, but a little bit. My personal opinion is you get rid of the virtual queues and you either have the multi-pass that you pay for, the individual lines, or there's a standby. End of
yeah,
story. And if the standby is 6 hours, the standby is 6 hours because it's that
yeah.
popular. And you know what?
Like,
People wait or they don't. Like that's up to them. But yeah, the virtual
why do you
queues I
think
feel are a
like
bit more confusing.
what the I wonder what like maybe it's obvious I just can't think it through like the reason for like if they have the system in place now like the reason for a virtual queue
Is really
is
so that people
why
aren't
like
spending that long in a standby line. Like that's really, I
right.
guess, what it's for, right? So that the standby doesn't get to be like 5 hours and people are waiting in that.
But if it was part of an individual lightning lane then it would be standby or pay or it would
Yeah.
be or even if there was yeah because like I could see yeah I don't know a brand new ride and because some of the like that's the thing it's not that they want to make access seamless really because not if there's no standby line and and you have to do virtual queue. Like if you don't get virtual queue, then you can't, or you have to
Can't
pay
ride
for it,
anyway.
individual lightning
Yeah.
lane. You can't ride anyway. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that part,
maybe they will figure it out
I
once
hope
they see
so.
how this new system works. Maybe they'll fold it in somehow.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how that works. I'm testing it myself next week, so I get to make my reservations next week, which is fun.
Nice.
I think it's next week. I don't know. I got to calculate my days. And then 7 days. Is it 7 days? So if you check in on the Friday, you do it the Friday before, or is it the Saturday before?
I just use my calculator that calculates 7 days, like I do 30 days. So I'm assuming it's that.
Right, right.
So
But 30 days, you have to use the calculator because some months have 30, some have 31, some have 28, whatever. But the 7 days, it should just be like if you check in on Friday, you do it the Friday before. Do you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's PhD, man. You need a PhD sometimes. And
hmm
sometimes I say to
I
people,
never
like,
thought to that depth. I was like, I'm just deducting 7 days from their arrival date, and that's the date. That's the date it is.
yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how it works and what the lines are really like with this. And now that the DAS, the Disability Access Service has been changed so drastically, I actually think the lines will be better.
Mm.
And I see all the complaints online about that, and I totally get it. There are a small number of people that this is inconvenient for them now, or really hampers their ability to enjoy the parks, because I think they had to go so far the other way. Like it used to be, it was kind of open to most people. Like you could just call them up and say you had something, and ta-da, you were part of the DAS. Now it's so rigorous the other way, that many people who used to qualify don't anymore. So that used to also clog up like the lightning lane lines. So, and they couldn't really predict for that.
Right.
So I'm hoping that means that the lines are a little better for everyone. But it's a science. It's going to take them a while to figure all this stuff out.
Yeah. It seems to be a good start, I think.
I think so. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But I would like to see. So one of the other news stories was they were testing a single rider line at Rise of the Resistance, and apparently now they've stopped. That would have been great to have like a single rider line for that. And it took it, so you ended up skipping some of the pre-show basically. So I would never recommend it to someone like for their first time. But
yeah, like I think you pretty much like you missed the airport tram part. And I think you just start
and
after
Ray,
that maybe.
Yeah, and you miss Ray and BB-8.
Right.
But yeah, interesting. I wonder if like now they're gonna, still try to figure out, like, are they still gonna figure out whether this was worth it or not and maybe bring it back? But I really think the single rider lines make sense. Like you have a party with 3 people in it. Why would you not want to fill the 4th scene?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially a very busy, popular attraction. Every bum.
Yeah.
Every seat should be filled with a bum.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember when Galaxy's Edge first opened? I think it was actually Disneyland. The Falcon. I wanted to experience it. I did the single rider line a few times. Like I got off and went back on, and I literally walked right on because they would just put me in with somebody else. Now I never got to drive or be at the front as a single rider, but I got to experience it. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it comes back.
Fingers crossed.
If you're a Disney fan, then you should listen to Carrie and Fran. They laugh and chat and help you make a plan. If you're going to Walt Disney World or Disneyland, and you will become a Pixie Dust fan.
Was there any other big news, Carrie, that you aside from the cupcakes, the sippers, the t-shirts. Like there's so much stuff coming out and I just can't even stay on top of it anymore.
I know. The one last thing that I had, like even though this week we're getting bombarded with cruise news, right? We're hearing all about the Disney Destiny.
Yes.
Right?
Oh yes.
We got lots of news about that this week.
Go ahead, Carrie's big news. Carrie's
big back, which you should have talked about podcast previously, that they're putting a cat themed lounge on the Disney Treasure.
So Carrie's got to get on the Disney Treasure.
Yep. At first, I was like, "Whatevs, I'll get on it one day." But when they got it's an Aristocat themed Scat Cat lounge.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Gonna be
that's
hanging
pretty
out
cool.
in there with cat t-shirts on every single day. So I put that on my to-do list, which wasn't, it was on my to-do list, but way down. But now I'm like, they've made a lounge for the cat ladies. They could have like cat lady meetings there. That would be good. Like that's what they should do. If I was a director on that cruise ship, I would make the most out of that theme.
Oh, you would.
Like, cat ladies unite. That would be like an afternoon. They would have afternoon tea with cat ladies. And you can't get in the door unless you have at least 2 cats. Sorry. Turn around. I need to see. What do you mean you don't have pictures on your phone?
Of your cat.
Let me see your phone reel. They'd be like, nope, she's not a cat lady. Not allowed in.
No, your home screen is not your cat. Forget it.
98% of your pictures in your reel aren't your cat. Fraud. Get out of here. Come back later when the cat lady social's over.
So I wouldn't be able to come to your cat lady social.
No, I'll be all by myself. Yeah, I'll be in there. Only for cat ladies.
Oh my gosh.
Such a good idea. Such a good idea.
It is.
It's kind of like having the Roper Romp. Like it's the same sort of thing, It's like the ladies that dress up like Mrs. Roper, like a Golden Girls soiree, a cat lady.
We didn't even do that this year. Like Carrie, we have to get on a Roper Romp.
Yeah, I'll put it on the to-do list for next year.
Yeah, maybe there'll be a Roper Romp when we go find the boys from Cobra Kai.
I think our time is running out on that because it's going to be the end of Cobra Kai, and then they're not going to be. We're never going to see our guys together at a fan expo. I checked the fan expo for Toronto, and they're not there.
Thank goodness, because I'm in Florida then. So then I was like, I had nightmares about that. I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to do if these guys are at the fan expo in Toronto and I'm not here?
I might have put honestly, I probably would have made a flat Franny. I would have made a flat Franny and I probably would have went without you.
No, we need to find out where they are. We'll pick a random weekend. There'll be a fan expo somewhere in the States and we'll just jump on a plane and go. Like we have to do it. We have to do it because that would be fun. Yeah. Sure. All right. We've talked a load of drivel. We've talked news. We've talked all sorts of stuff.
Cats. We talked Disneyland. Cats. We talked cats. We talked about Cobra Kai. We talked a smidge about Walt Disney World. We talked a lot about Disneyland. And
we
then
didn't talk
more
a
Disneyland.
Lot. And we didn't even talk about, what about Mabu? We forgot to talk about Mabu.
Oh my goodness. This should have been our headliner.
News. Like I missed this whole news.
And we're going to not do it justice because I don't even know anything about it. So there was a San Diego Comic-Con last week, which is like probably a month after by the time we're recording or when people are listening. And your boo.
Yes. Mr. Harrison Ford. Yes.
Mr. Harrison Ford is now part of the Marvel Universe. I don't know what movie. I don't know what character. I don't know what comic book. I got no idea. But he was on stage and it's announced that he's part of the Marvel Universe. So there you go. All that homework you did, getting up to speed on the Marvel characters and watching the Marvel movies.
We getting up to speed. Up to speed.
You watched Marvel movies, didn't we? You watched a few. I watched all of them.
I watched the the ant and the bee, and I watched the one with the raccoon dude and the tree.
Okay, so you've done a little bit of research.
I watched one of them.
I think you watched a few more.
Did I watch Iron Man? I feel like I watched Iron Man. I might have. Anyway, so I watched a few. I've watched a
So
few.
now you're
But
gonna
like,
have
who are
one
we
more
kidding?
at least to
Like
watch.
Harrison Ford as a superhero? Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. But yeah, we know nothing about it. I had to ask some dude at work. I'm like, I heard that Harrison Ford, he's like, oh my gosh, yeah. And then he started blah blah blah, like telling me all about it. I had no idea what he was talking about, but yeah, he's gonna be in one of them. So that's kind of cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, exciting.
And good thing they announced that at San Diego Comic-Con and not at D23.
D23. Well, remember, I missed them the last time.
With your,
Last time he was on stage at D23, I was sitting on the floor waiting for the Muppets.
I was like, my bad.
That was a good Muppet panel, though. That was fun. But yeah.
I don't think there's any Muppets there this year. It's very sad. Sad trombone.
Oh, that's sad.
But
Maybe
Frank
there'll
Oz
be
is
Muppet
going to be
announcements.
well, I think there's no, I've been looking. I think there's like a Muppet Clue game. There's some Muppet merch probably. And Frank Oz is going to be a legend. So that's the highlight for sure. So, that's why I want to go to
That's
Legends
exciting.
for sure. So, but I don't
Yeah.
think there's any Muppets. Even the Miss Piggy session they have, like, it has a disclaimer. There'll be no Muppets performing. So that's
Oh,
like womp
that's
womp.
sad.
But we got a lot of
Oh,
Muppets last time, I
I
guess.
know. So, well, by
Anyway.
the time everyone's listening, you will be home, and then we will be scrambling to record the update from your trip before I go
My
online. So
shenanigans.
that's it. Your shenanigans, and I can't wait. I can't wait to hear all about it, Carrie. Just safe travels. Now, it's that
Yep.
time, Carrie.
Are we gonna have the
Maybe-
same pixie dust? We
Well,
should have two pixie dusts.
we should have
I
two
got two
pixie dust,
pixie dusts.
but I actually think our two pixie dusts might be the same two
Exactly.
pixie dusts too. Okay, you go first.
So my pixie dust is I got to cat sit two cats. I had two cat sitting gigs this week. I had this
Oh,
handsome tuxedo cat named Walter. Handsome
Nice.
little devil. Sweetest little cat ever. And then my regular Phoebe, she's like a Rex kitty, like she's a little tiny baby with like little head, big ears.
oh,
I babysat her. And then we went for dinner. I hadn't seen you in person in a while. And I
Yes.
finally got to the fish and chip place that your whole family eats at. I keep hearing about this great fish and chips, fish and chips, fish and chips. And then I come over and you're like, where do you want to go for noodles? And I'm like, fish and chip place, please. And it was delicious. It is really one of the better fish and
was
chips
as-
I've ever had.
It was as good as I had hyped it up
Chips
to
are
be.
solid. It is. The chips are good too. Like usually the chips are like, yeah, the chips were good. The fish was good. It was really, really good. So
Yeah,
that's my pixie dust. Two things.
nice.
Three things. Two cats and some fish and chips. And you, four things.
And
Four things.
Well, one of my pixie dusts, of course, was getting to see you. You drove in to see me. We got to go to dinner. We got to hang out for a bit, chit chat, catch up. That's always fun. And you brought me some jam, some
Yeah.
my
Red
red
jam.
pepper jelly, which is funny. I have no bread in the house, so I have to get some bread so that I can eat this.
You can put it on
Um,
crackers. Crackers.
Oh, can you?
Yeah,
Well, I wouldn't
put
think.
it on crackers or like you could just put it on
Oh.
something like that. Like
Oh, I wouldn't.
make a little
I have
make
like
a little
little
cracker
rice
stack or
grates.
something.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that might be nice. Okay, so I have that. So that was lovely getting to see you. And as always, and believe it or not, I too am cat sitting this week.
You got a cat sitting gig this week.
I got a cat
I
sitting
asked,
gig this
and you
week.
didn't take really any advice. I offered up any advice, and you were like, "No, I got this." And
I
I'm like,
got this.
"Okay."
Well, she left me instructions. So Andrew and his girlfriend have gone to San Francisco for the week, and I am cat sitting. So,
Nice.
Carrie goes on about the cats and what kind they are. I don't know. It's a great cat. He's a little crusty that he's been left alone. So when I go over, he's not like I have to bribe him with treats. And then he comes around. But yeah, so I am cat sitting. Ta-da.
That's cool.
Yeah. So look at us. We're more alike than we think. Well,
You just
Carrie,
keep coming over to the cat lady side of the spectrum,
I know.
unfortunately.
Then I can come into your cat club.
start downloading pictures. Start take a lot of pictures so that when you can show them in your reel. Because that's how you're going to get in.
That's how I'm going to get in. I'm going to have all these
pictures. If you don't have a million cat pictures in your reel, you're not.
Then I can't come in.
How many cat accounts do you follow on Instagram? No, you're not getting in. You're not getting in. You can't come in.
Oh my gosh, I'm not following cat accounts on Instagram.
Sorry, ma'am, you can't come in.
Gosh.
Party, you'll go to a different party.
Party's over.
This one's not. You're not allowed.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, as always, a pleasure, Carrie. If you've made it this far in the podcast, thank you so much for listening. Please leave us a rating and review. It always helps. And tell some friends about our podcast. And if you have some ideas for episodes, please send them in. We're happy to hear them. And till next time, thank you so much for listening.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.